Hello and welcome to Z. In this episode, we are traveling to Turkey and look at Cappadocia. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. Cappadocia. Cappadocia is a region in central Turkey. Nifser, Kayseri, Aksaray, Kırşehir, Sivas, and Niğde. Herodotus said the Cappadocians lived from Mount Taurus to the Euxine during the Ionian Revolt, 499 BC, Black Sea. Cappadocia was confined south by the Taurus Mountains, east by the upper Euphrates, north by Pontus, and west by Lycaonia and eastern Galatia. The name, used in Christian sources throughout history, is utilized as an international tourism concept to represent a location of great natural wonders, including fairy chimneys and a distinct historical and cultural heritage. Cappadocia. In the late Bronze Age, Cappadocia was known as Hutti and was the Hittite homeland. After the Hittite Empire fell and the Syro-Cappadocians, Mushki, were defeated by Lydian king Croesus in the 6th century BC, Cappadocia was dominated by a feudal aristocracy who lived in fortified castles and kept the peasants in a submissive state, making them prone to foreign slavery. It was incorporated in Darius III Persian satrapy, but remained to be ruled by its own rulers, none of whom were supreme over the whole country and all more or less tributaries of the great king. Cappadocia. After defeating the Persians, Alexander the Great sent one of his generals to administer the region. Ariarathes, a former satrap, declared himself Cappadocian monarch. Ariarathes I, 332 to 322 BC, expanded the Cappadocian kingdom to the Black Sea. Alexander's death brought calm to Cappadocia. Eumenes conquered Cappadocia after the former empire was partitioned. Perdiccas crucified Ariarathes in 322 BC, but Ariarathes II, the adoptive son of Ariarathes I, reclaimed his fortune and passed it to a line of successors who generally bore the founder's name. Persian colonists in Cappadocia, shut off from Iran, practiced Zoroastrianism. Strabo, who observed them in the 1st century BC, says these fire kindlers had several holy sanctuaries of the Persian gods and fire temples. Strabo says they were notable enclosures with an altar where mages kept the fire going. According to Strabo, who lived during the reign of Augustus, 27 BC, 14 AD, approximately 300 years after the fall of the Achaemenid Persian Empire, there were only vestiges of Persians in Western Asia Minor, but he regarded Cappadocia virtually a living part of Persia. Under Ariarathes IV, Cappadocia allied with Rome against Perseus of Macedon after becoming Antiochus the Great's antagonist. The kings sided with the Republic against the Seleucids, whom they had once served. Ariarathes V and the Roman proconsul Publius Licinius Crassus Dives Mucianus defeated Aristarchus, a Pergamon claimant, 130 BC. The chaos after his death led to Pontus meddling and the intrigues and conflicts that terminated the monarchy. Roman Byzantine province. The Cappadocians, supported by Rome against Mithridates VI of Pontus, elected Ariobarzanes to succeed, 93 BC. However, Armenian troops under Tigranes the Great entered Cappadocia, dethroned Ariobarzanes, and crowned Gordios as the new client king of Cappadocia, creating a buffer zone against the Romans. Ariobarzanes ruled after Rome toppled Pontic and Armenian rulers, 63 BC. Octavian took Cappadocia after Pompey, Caesar, Antony, and Antony. Archelaus, a Cappadocian lord, was handed the throne by Antony and subsequently Octavian. He maintained tributary independence until AD 17, when Tiberius, whom he had insulted, summoned him to Rome and made Cappadocia a Roman province. In 70 AD, Vespasian linked Armenia Minor and Cappadocia, creating a frontier bulwark. It was part of the Eastern Empire for centuries despite provincial redistributions. Cappadocia's underground cities include Kamikel. Underground cities contain trap networks on multiple levels. These ingenious traps include enormous round stones to block doorways and ceiling holes for dropping spears. Early Christian, Byzantine. In 314, Cappadocia was the largest Roman province and part of Pontus Diocese. Gregory of Nazianzus called the 368 famine the worst ever. Basil ungrudgingly spent upon the poor his patrimony even before he was a priest, and especially in the time of the famine, while Basil was a church governor, albeit still a priest in the rank of presbyters, and thereafter did not hoard even what remained to him. In 371, the western section of the Cappadocia province was separated into Cappadocia Prima, with its capital at Caesarea, modern-day Caesarea, and Cappadocia Secunda, with its capital at Tyana. By 386, the land to the east of Caesarea had become part of Armenia Secunda, while the northeast had become part of Armenia Prima. Cappadocia was mostly owned by Roman emperors or wealthy local families. In the late 4th century, the Romans fought with the Sasanian Empire over Mesopotamia and Armenia beyond the Euphrates. Many Cappadocian residents were of Persian heritage, and Iranian fire worship is mentioned as late as 465, according to Stephen Mitchell's Oxford Dictionary of Late Antiquity. The Cappadocian fathers of the 4th century were crucial to much of early Christian thinking. John of Cappadocia was Patriarch of Constantinople from 517 to 520. For most of the Byzantine era, it was mostly unaffected by the Sassanid Empire, but it was an important frontier zone against Muslim incursions. From the 7th century, Anatolian and Armenian themes split Cappadocia. 9th, 11th century topics included Charzanan and Cappadocia. Cappadocia's connection with Imperial Armenia was continually changing. Abu al-Faraj says about 10th century Armenian settlers in Shivas, Armenians dominated Shivas, Cappadocia, and became essential to the imperial troops. These Armenians were used as watchposts and strong strongholds seized from the Arabs. They were seasoned infantrymen in the imperial army and fought bravely and successfully alongside the Romans. Less as a result of the Byzantine military battles and the Seljuk invasion of Armenia, the Armenians spread into Cappadocia and eastward from Cilicia into the mountainous territories of northern Syria and Mesopotamia, and the Armenian kingdom of Cilicia was eventually founded. After the Fourth Crusade and the fall of the local empire, immigration intensified. Due to the significant presence of Armenians in Cappadocia, Crusaders called it Terra Hermeniorum. Cappadocia. After the Battle of Manzikert in 1071, Seljuks led Turkish clans to Anatolia. With the development of Turkish authority in Anatolia, Cappadocia became a vassal to Turkish powers to the east and west. Some of the local population converted to Islam, while the rest became Cappadocian Greeks. By early 12th century, Anatolian Seljuks dominated the region. The decline and fall of the Konya-based Seljuks in the second part of the 13th century was followed by the rise of the Ottoman Empire. Cappadocia belonged to the Ottoman Empire until 1922, when it joined Turkey. Nifsur, a new urban center, was founded in the early 18th century by a local Grand Vizier, Nefsahirli Damat Brahim Pasha, to serve as regional capital. Where the Greek language was maintained, Seal, communities near Kayseri, Faresa town, and other nearby villages, it became severely influenced by the surrounding Turkish. Cappadocian Greek is an Eastern Roman dialect. Following Turkey's foundation in 1922, those who still associated with Cappadocia's pre-Islamic culture were obliged to leave. Therefore, this language is currently spoken by a handful of their descendants, primarily in contemporary Greece. Cappadocia facts. 1. 3 to 4 million years ago, volcanic eruptions shook central Anatolian, generating the Cappadocia Wonders or Cotton Castles. 2. Volcanic erosion shaped Cappadocia's scenery. Thick ash formed into soft rock, called tuff, which eroded over time to create fairy chimneys. 3. Cappadocia extends 5,000 kilometers and is above 1,000 m high, cutting through Nefser, Kayseri, and Nigda. 4. Cappadocia's name comes from the Persian phrase Cappadocia, which means country of lovely horses. Cappadocia's residents still value horses, and they give visitors an alternate form of transit. 5. Cappadocia has underground cities connected by tunnel soft rock allowed for underground colonies. Many are open to visitors, but much of the land is private. 6. 600 churches are carved from soft Cappadocian rock, and there may be more. These medieval cathedrals contain stunning frescoes that have preserved their color and richness. Superstitious residents have scraped out the eyes of several painted figurines. 7. Gorim is one of the few Cappadocian villages still inhabited. Christians hid in Gorim during the Arab invasion, therefore they named it You Cannot See Here. 8. Gorim Open Air Museum includes the area's best-known religious complexes. It was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985, along with other Cappadocia rock formations. 9. The week-long Cappadocia Music Festival features choirs and orchestras in Cappadocia's cave buildings. 10. Cappadocia is a big grape producer with a rich tradition of winemaking. In recent years, wines from the region have garnered international accolades. This is all for now. Thank you for being with us.